Hello, social media. I'm sure most of you out there have seen what happened today. Well, Dark Fury Patriot wants to provide my analysis as to what happened today. If you're on the left, you believe one narrative. If you're on the right, you believe the opposite. Now, I've watched the video several times from several different sources. I don't make no rash decision or base my political affiliation I looked at the video, and I have to say, but even before that, let's talk about who this woman was and why she was there to begin with. Blocking traffic, impeding traffic, giving federal orders to step out of the vehicle. Now, I gotta say, if any officer, any whatsoever, federal, state, whoever, you gotta have respect for the badge. If someone tells you to step out of the vehicle, then you step out of the vehicle. And your chances of living another day with odds like that, you will see the sunrise. However, if you do not listen and obey, and you attempt to run somebody over, from the vantage point of where this officer was standing, he didn't see the wheel, but he did hear a roar of the engine. And he was pushed. And he acted in self-defense. So this woman's death, as tragic and as sad as it is a consequence of her own decision. That's what it is. Now, people will tell you that, oh, ICE isn't supposed to be here. You hear people shouting, get out of my city, take your mask off, you don't belong here. Why are they there in Minnesota to begin with? No one wants to ask that question. And who is responsible for ICE being in Minnesota in the first place? Not who have sent them, but why are they there? And who is responsible for creating the chaos in the first place? His name is not Donald Trump. It's not Kristi Noem. It's not Tom Homan. It's Joseph Robin Biden and the Biden administration. They told us multiple times, the border is secure, the border is secure, the border is secure, etc., over and over again. But yet 20 million people came into our country illegally. From all points in the world. Including Venezuela. Including a whole bunch of refugees made into instant Americans by Joseph Biden. And we've seen terrific fraud in Minnesota. And we've seen the starting of that same repeated fraud in Ohio. The same exact MO. And every time ICE gets sent out to get rid of this filth, wherever it may exist, there are political aggressors. The people come out of their homes, I don't want you here, get out of here, you don't belong here. Whose authority are they speaking on? Their own arrogance? They are sent there by the highest authority in the United States of America. The Democratic Party wants to, it seems to me, they stand with the criminals. Always have, always will. I don't know why that is the case. I just don't understand. But what I can understand is criminal intent. Do what you want to do whenever the hell you want to do it. A little consequence for the law. Whatever moves you. These people are out of control. They're chaotic. You need to understand that you can't just do as you want to do. If there are illegals in this country, they need to get out. All right? Sanctuary city or not. That's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. Minnesota was thrust into the spotlight with tremendous fraud that another YouTuber brought. All very true stuff. And these people are out there in the street, they're impeding ICE, they're calling out ICE, they're watching the streets like, law and order's rolling down the street right now, be warned. It's ridiculous. But the reason why this woman, Mrs. Good, is dead right now. She's dead because, like I said before, her consequences, the actions of her consequences, that's the reason why she's dead. And we'll never see another sunrise. And make no mistake, all these protesters, which protesting is fine, totally legal, by the way, but you can't impede the efforts of law enforcement. You think this is the first time that someone has attempted to run a police officer up? No, it's happened several times, and tragically before, it was the police officer that died. They're all screaming, oh, take off your mask, take off your mask, or you shouldn't wear a mask. You know what that is all about? It's so that these people who are the officer or the ICE official can be identified in the digital age. Find out their home address online, and then create havoc and who knows what at their personal address. So it's already happened. The private residence of our vice president was violated. This is not too far from what's happened before. Defund the police, you know, supporting Black Lives Matter. Even our own Vice President, Kamala Harris, Ward Salad, supported the efforts of Black Lives Matter. They shouldn't stop, they should continue. That was your Vice President, ladies and gentlemen. And thank God she's not our current president. Because if she was our current president, we might not even be here in 2026. None of us. Do you honestly think that she would call for the midnight hammer by the U.S. military when they took out Iran's nuclear sites? Do you honestly believe? No, I don't think so. Now, they could have perfected their technique, and by now in 2026, they could have put their nuclear technology into a warhead and could have delivered that to the United States in an intercontinental missile. So we might not very well be here in 2026. We are because Donald Trump is president. True. It's also true that I don't think she would have went in there to Venezuela and have captured the dictator, not president, dictator, and extracted him to bring him to the United States and bring him to justice. I don't think that would happen either. In fact, I really do believe that this country would continue to go downhill. And who knows how many more millions of people would have been an extension of the Biden Harris years. And this Tim Walz, he is done. He's not running for re-election. He talks real tough in some videos about, oh, we're going to bring our own, National Guard. But these are Minnesotans. Look, you're going to oppose the military and the president, which is your commander in chief. It matters not that this regiment is from Minnesota. So he's a little strange by stating that. Oh, these are Minnesotans. The National Guard are from our state. Like they're going to disobey a federal order. Anyway, I'm very sorry this woman died tragically. I do not celebrate her death. At the same time, I do not stand against our president. I do not stand against Kristi Noem. I do not stand against Tom Homan. And I don't stand against any ICE officer. They're there to do a job. Let's continue to let them complete their mission. Stop interfering. Throwing rocks at them, telling them to remove masks, barking orders, leave, leave, leave. I mean, I watch these people in disgust. And by the people I'm talking about the agitators and all the people who are upset, watchers out there, neighborhood watching for, how pathetic. Because the Rebian ICE officers are the Trump administration is referred to and with likeness of the Nazi Party, and ICE is referred to as the Gestapo. How deranged. Really, truly is. I mean, these people just don't understand. So, the whole reason you have to take a look as to the reason why, like I said, ICE is there in the first place. And whose hands have the most blood? It's not Donald Trump. It's not anybody on the right. It's not anybody on the Conservative Party or the conservative side of things. It's a Democratic Party and the lunatic fringe liberals who watch the news by the likes of NBC, ABC, CBS, PMSNBC with Rachel Maddow. What a hideous looking woman. Seriously. PBS. And oh, yes, let's not forget the soft spoken words of NPR over the radio. I'm just, look, I don't want no more death. I really don't. I do not celebrate this woman's death that died today, tragically. But you know what? If you run over or attempt to run over, and that officer has a split-second decision to make, and he hears the roar of the engine, he cannot see the tires where they're turned from his vantage point. There's no way. And the vehicle's coming at him, your only obligation is to eliminate the threat. All these people are up at arms, the left, and small men with deep voices in Minnesota. They're all talking tough, using foul language at a press conference. Grow the hell up. All right? Doesn't make you tough, doesn't make you a big man to use foul language at a press conference. Oh, get the F out of our city. We don't happen want you here. Yeah, okay, and I'm not going to move one muscle backwards. In fact, I'll move forward. Anyway. So, what do you all think? I'll tell you something else from a different perspective of something that did not happen. Let's say this guy, this federal officer, was run over, completely run over. Let's say he was killed. And this woman, Mrs. Good, still alive. She was successful in creating the running over the police officer, which has happened before many times. There's been multiple attacks on ICE. Do your own research. because you're not going to learn about those facts on CNN. But let's just say that, something tragic has happened to somebody, like a federal officer. Let's say he was killed. Do you think there would be a political outlash from the left? Do you think there'd be all this drama out there on these keyboard warriors, these Monday night quarterbacks, all giving their perspective and trying to prove their liberal point on ICE and how they don't belong there? Oh, well, I'm sorry, he was killed. They're going to get in the way of the neighborhood, and they're going to take. That would have been the angle. But they're always out there screaming and hollering and making noise. Just before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there was a woman, Irina, which I made a video about her before. A lovely white woman with blonde hair that came from the Ukraine and was working in a pizzeria, had aspirations of being a veterinarian. She got killed on a train, stabbed in the neck by a black man. He said, "I got the white girl." And he was arrested 14 times prior. Upon her death, there was no riots, there was no violence, there was nothing. Unlike the George Floyd days, where there were riots and people jumping up and down on police cars, and you all saw that. We all got dragged through that. But in Irina's case, no hostility from anyone in the city, no civil unrest, nothing. City didn't burn down. Not that I wanted it to. But let's say the ICE officer was killed. The same exact event would have occurred. It would have been peaceful. There would be no noise from the Democratic Party, these libtards. Like AOC said, "Oh, he's going to go to jail. He's going to be prosecuted." Woman, sit the hell down. Shut the hell up. This is poor choices made by the Democratic Party, who sleep with liberals, who also sleep in the same bed with the national media and CNN and PBS and PMSNBC. All these morons out there, all these people on the left, sitting on the edge of their seat, soaking all this stuff in, believing in someone else's narrative. Do not watch someone else's narrative and make it your own. Do your own research. Don't allow your own mind to be turned into a mushmelon. It's what it is. Think for yourself. Now, I'm not here to provide a sermon to you out there and social media. I want you to make up your own mind and just consider the words that I've said here tonight. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to make you think and think deeply. Thanks for watching tonight. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.